Mount Pamo, Mountain back to Atlantic Ocean, Obomi Hills to Boakai, to educate, elevate, and promote. Yeah, focus on Liberia, for Liberia, for Liberia. From Monday to Sunday, it's focused on Liberia. Talk about home affairs, in diaspora, current affairs, reliable information. Education, entertainment, business, sports, advertisement, articulation. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. From Monday to Sunday.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of OnPoint. It is 4 p.m. on the East Coast. It is OnPoint. Mr. Eastman, it looks like you are having dinner. We are here to discuss issues. Welcome back, Mr. Aliu Kamara. After I think you order your coma or you order your shocking stage, it's good to see you back. Welcome back, Mr. Kamara. Today is Sunday. It is 4:02. You are on time. It tells me that you are order your shot. You are all right. Welcome, sir. Welcome, Mr. Eastman. How are you guys doing? Today is Super Bowl Sunday, so we are here early, and we're going to leave on time for you to watch your show. Mr. Eastman, how you doing there, sir?
Well, just like you said, today is Super Bowl Sunday. And the tradition here in the U.S., I've been seeing people flying the flag all around. And that tells me how much of a national day this Super Bowl is. And I can't wait to get started. But because this show is important, because we speak to Liberian people and sometimes they hear us, because we could provide the very guidance they need, I made it my business to join you and Mr. Kamara here to provide perspective on our national issues. So I'm glad to be here.
Excellent. Mr. Aliu Kamara, disappointed as you are. Welcome back. And how you doing, sir?
Super Bowl my foot. Thanks for having me.
Why your foot, Mr. Kamara? Why you it's not a Super Bowl?
I mean, it's something, but I don't care. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, come on. You have a young man there who looks very athletic. I think he's in high school, either in the 12th grade or 9th grade. Most likely he played football. But anyhow, welcome, Mr. Kamara. Welcome, Eastman. We have a lot to discuss here. First of all, I don't know if you have any updates on the Cup of Nations, African Cup of Nations between Nigeria and Ivory Coast. If you do, please put it in our on our page. If you have it, please let us know. A point of correction here, a point of information. My hometown, South Florida, is going to be on fire for the World Cup. Miami has been selected to host the quarterfinals of the World Cup. So we are going to be on fire. I don't know what's happening in the DC area, but if you have any information, if your cities were selected to host the World Cup, because they're going to be played in 3 different nations, in Canada, in Mexico, and the United States, and they have selected all the cities that will be involved. Obviously, George Weah country, Miami, have been selected to host the quarterfinal. Mr. Eastman, Mr. Kamara, do you hear anything about your area? Are you hosting any event for the World
No,
Cup?
we really never host anything here. I'm in Maryland. We don't we normally no, not
Wow,
soccer. Hmm.
great. Mr. Eastman,
The
we
man
are
ran
talking.
across the pond. We
Oh,
call it across the pond. He's in the DMV area.
okay,
No, I haven't heard of late of our hosting any event, you know, but it will be well attended, right? Um, there was some miscarriage a couple of times where the FIFA was accused of being bribed by various nations to host the World Cup. And we have observed that frequently the United States is being selected to do this. Now, even though they are well equipped, and security is another concern, and they are also pretty secure. But um, I don't know. I think we need to consider having these events in other countries as well. So I look forward to that one day.
great. And the reason why I like this format is that the United States and the West have put so much pressure on FIFA because before then it was all money. If you are not from the Gulf countries, if you are not from the Arab countries, if you are not from Italy, the big countries, then you had no chance. But the United States and Canada and the Western countries they discover and expose the former FIFA president, Mr. I think Blasey or something, of a massive corruption, and people went to jail. So now countries now like
That's
you
right.
see the African Cup of Nations in the Ivory Coast, in Senegal and Nigeria and Ghana, we stand a good chance, or even Morocco and Egypt. If the security issue there could be resolved, we stand a very good chance now to host these events because we have the facilities, we have the equipment, we have the people. We are praying that we can
Oh,
actually host on
Where
multiple
are you
cities.
talking about? Where are you talking about when you say we? Where are you talking about? Really?
I'm,
Liberia?
talk,
what kind of
I'm
what,
talking about
Ali,
West
what kind of
Africa.
Batman laugh? What
West
kind of Batman
Africa,
laugh that about?
Mr. Namwe.
Yes, sir.
We are talking about the new format of the of
Uh,
FIFA where multiple countries are hosting the events, right?
Right.
Okay, Africans, the excuse for not going to Africa, well, we lack the facilities and all of that. Now we hosted it in South Africa, and now we are seeing that in West Africa, Senegal put up this, what is it, $1 billion facility there. Guinea put up one. The Africa has one. Ghana has one. Nigeria, we heard, putting up a great facility. So with multiple countries hosting it, we are in West Africa. We stand a very good chance of hosting the World Cup at some point because if you look at the Ivory Coast, you look at Senegal, you look at Ghana, and Nigeria. We are very, very. I mean, we talk about proximity. We can hold some of these events.
No, I absolutely agree. I mean, I think the load sharing, I think will remove that argument that one country alone couldn't carry that because of facilities and all of that. Obviously, the facilities may not be the same from each country to the other, but I think the load sharing alone. I mean, imagine for about 30 minutes flight, you can fly from Accra to Monrovia, and I believe for the same amount of time from Monrovia to Freetown. And so, if you were to award, the hosting to 2 or 3 countries, I think they can pull it off. So I absolutely agree with that.
listen, listen. I like the way you can take your time and turn it to them, but let's not fool nobody here. You can't host a football tournament where you get thousands of people you expect to fly. The people look at express highways, they look at hotels, they look at running water, they look at security. Right now in Africa, besides South Africa, we look at Morocco, Egypt at this point. West Africa will stay far play.
Well, I saw the stadium that was just built by Turkey in Senegal, one of the best.
One stadium. They're getting there, but we're behind it.
But listen, this is why we are saying I saw two stadiums in the Ivory Coast, very well developed. I saw one in Guinea. Their stadium there, awesome. They just profiled that. I heard it been there for a while. So we are getting there. What I'm saying here, if you have these four major cities with four major stadiums, listen, we can't wait until everything is in place, because when this particular tournament comes to town, they say about between $2 to $10 billion it brings to the country.
Imagine how many people, more than 2-3 million people are coming to that area. They're not going to fly. It's not possible.
But listen, what it does is not only do they build stadium, but they also build facilities, hotels, and other places. We cannot wait until we be Europe before we host it.
But that's how they do. It's not you waiting. It's FIFA.
No, but even in the 2026 World Cup, it's coming to the US, and it will be co-hosted by Canada and Mexico.
Canada and Mexico.
So correct. Yeah, I mean, some of the games. Imagine even in the US, some of the games are played as far away as 4-5 hours flight away, even in the continental US. So
yeah, I mean, the best thing to do is that if we want to ever host it, we can go along with, like, Guinea, maybe Sierra Leone, and play the games in the three countries, right? Yeah. Well, Liberia can't host it independently. It's almost impossible.
We're not talking about Liberia. I'm talking about West Africa. Well, ladies and gentlemen,
welcome. You even get one stadium. You even get one stadium up to par. You can't talk about.
Listen, I'm not talking about Liberia. I'm talking about the ones that we saw. I saw a developed stadium in the Ivory Coast. I saw the new one they just built in Senegal. I saw the one in Guinea. I saw the one in Accra. Those are starting point. We can't wait until everything be perfect. Mr.
It's good to love your people, Mr. Gayman. Good brain. We'll stay far. Let's get to the topic.
Mr. Padmore.
Thank you very much.
You are an optimist. You are a businessman. You like to do good. I am saying West Africa, the Mano River Union, Senegal, the Ivory Coast, Ghana, Nigeria. I think they got the facilities to host a World Cup like we're doing now.
Absolutely.
It may not be perfect, but we stand a chance to host. We can make the case that we can host the World Cup too.
Absolutely, it's long overdue. The ECOWAS, the West African countries, should make a pitch to host the West on the World Cup. Why not?
Right, and then the best thing is to do pool funding where other countries of more means could help less country like Liberia to build some infrastructure for the World Cup. It's possible. It's possible.
That's what these countries do. When the World Cup is coming, FIFA invests. We talk about billions, okay, in facilities when they leave.
It's not FIFA that invests those billions.
Yes,
those countries themselves.
Yes, FIFA does part of that. And the fact that if your country has been awarded the World Cup
you will not be awarded until you pass these things. Let's go to the show. You can't be awarded unless you pass these things already. FIFA do not come and build these things for you.
Listen, Mr. Kamara, you are not you are not an administrator. I am. When you have listen, if you have a package, okay, Mr. Namwe and Mr. Padmo and Kamara and Mr. Elvin, when you have a package of that nature, you go to any learning institution and say, we have been awarded the right to host the World Cup in the next 4 years.
You're not understanding that. You don't get it.
Listen, Mr. Padmore, I go to a bank and say, I need money to build hotels. I need money to build this. I need money to build that. Knowing that you are going to attract millions and millions of folks to make that money back.
No, Mr. Gayman, Mr. Kamara is right. There's some prerequisites that you need in order to get, awarded it. You either have to prove that you have the money on hand, the liquid capital to build the infrastructure, or you already have it, already built. So they're not just going to give it to you based on you're going to be able to loan money from banks.
But we have the infrastructure. What's the issue?
No, we don't have the you need the region.
But let me say one last thing. Let me say one last thing, Jerome. Nigeria was awarded it once before, and they did not meet the criteria ahead of time, and they lost it. They had to carry it somewhere else. So even when you awarded it, even when you're awarded.
Mr. Eastman, one country. That's what we are saying. Multiple countries.
Region.
That's a new trend.
How many rows you got to have?
Let's get going here, guys.
Let's get that West African highway going first, then we can talk about it. We'll get it established.
Let's go. Let's get going. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Please share this show. We have some great news here. We have Mr. Kamara back. It's a great thing. He had been in his shell. He was shell shocked after he said no Congo person going to be anymore when Joseph Boakai wins. Joseph Boakai won, and the Congo people are back. So Kamara got shocked. Kamara couldn't come on this show because my homeboy, what about it? Tule said Ellen Johnson is a vampire and a witch and a death. Only to turn around, the other Ellen's boys are back, girls are back. Tule don't call me anymore. He don't say anything. He's disappointed in Joseph Boakai. But we have a show here today. Mr. Eastman, you are the diplomat here. Mr. Kamara, I guess he's a loner. It's very difficult these days to find unity parties to come on the show. I don't know why. So, Mr. Kamara, I really take out my hat. I salute you. You had the courage to come in and face it. Let's go to what's happening in Liberia. Mr. Eastman.
Yeah.
We have problem today just narrowing it down to 3 or 4 subjects because there were about 1,000 people. When we said we needed suggestion, there were suggestions. I mean, we talk about topics from everywhere. We had to narrow it down. So let's go with what we agree on. Lofa County dominated presidential appointments. There is no ifs or ands about it for those who say everything came from the Southeast. Southeast is 6, maybe 7 counties. Lofa County is a single county. They are dominating the appointments.
Well, we're multiple ethnic groups, so that's it.
So
listen, every country got the same ethnic group. We got Bandi, Basom, all of them. So don't come over with that. Number 2, confirmation. Where they say they ever reject anybody, or like Mr. Mame said, it is a susu. Same Mr. Boakai, Joseph Boakai made an error by combining the executive and the legislative branches, put all the senators on the vetting committee, and so it has become a susu. You confirm mine, I confirm yours. Nobody's going to be. Will there ever be anybody that will be rejected based on character? We discussed that. Number 3, HPX negotiation from Tue to Boakai. Will there be, what would be the end, or how would this end? I know Mr. Tue was sanctioned because he told HPX, whatever the name is, that we cannot give you multiple use. You have to either build a brand new facility. You cannot use what was already contracted to Metal Steel.
The railroad, you mean?
And he stood his ground. And today we are hearing that HPX have agreed to build a separate brand new rail. We discussed that. We have here the AFL wives are protesting and doing roadblocks ahead of Armed Forces Day because of what they see as corruption before Joseph Boakai even appointed this guy. Okay, so we have here number 5. We are loyalists in alleged salary scandal. We don't know how true that is. We say allegedly. They are saying there were some folks, people in the Liberian media that were friendly to President Weah. They were on payroll at different ministry. And then the last but not the least, Joseph Boakai asset declaration. Joseph Boakai said he took his asset declaration in a brown envelope. No pun intended. No pun intended. In a brown envelope. And gave it to someone and said, this is my asset. And people say, well, your promise was, you said you were going to publish your asset. He said, well, Joe, we did it too. So I'm going to give it to LSC, and they're going to see the day they finish with A, then they agree we can publish it, but the law say. So Joseph Boakai is now a clone of Dr. George Weah. When George Weah became president, a university or church gave him a doctorate degree the first month, and he was Dr. Weah. Joseph Boakai got inaugurated. He
I
went to
saw the
UMU.
topic and I'm not part of the
Listen,
topic.
Joseph Boakai went to UMU,
Well,
and
are we live now?
they made him Doctor. They made him Dr. Boakai.
Hey, Gayman, we gotta move on. Let's go.
Yeah, now we gotta go.
Yeah. I swear, the
Mr.
intro,
Eastman,
more
now
than
that
yeah.
I had laid the groundwork, let's go to number one here.
Mm,
Mr. Eastman, you are the diplomat here, so you talk so and talk so. I don't talk so
okay.
and talk so. I see it, I say it as I see it. Lofa County is dominating the nomination for our positions.
Okay.
Is Lofa County the only educated county that have the people when Boakai said,
Okay, but let me answer you now.
listen, no, my man, when Joseph Boakai said no one, what you say? No one county, no one political
No.
party.
He
I said,
said
Mr. Gayman, let him talk, please.
13 counties, 13 ministers. He said ministers come from every county. That's what Joseph Boakai said.
no, you remember he said
But
one.
we have 15 countries, not 13.
Mr. Eastman, take it from there.
Oh, 15 counties.
Okay. I mean, nothing surprising here. You see, even when I was at LU, Lofa County boys dominated. They were no boys. The most. They were the most around, and you could
No,
see
we're
them.
not talking about 1822, man. I mean,
But I'm just no. What you see now is the product of that era. I'm not surprised that there are a whole lot of educated boys from men and women from Lofa because they were very studious and in large numbers. Even while I was attending LU back in the day. So now we see the result of that. But here's something more though. Um, we shouldn't expect anything different. We know that if there will be some loyalty shown to the people of Lofa, this has been very typical. So the number that I see being,
why we shouldn't expect anything different?
excuse me,
Why we shouldn't expect anything different?
because this is how Liberians do. When Southeastern get there, you see Southeasterners. When
That's not what
Lofa
the
men
people
get there,
told
you
us.
don't think you will see Lofa people there.
That's not what the
No.
people told us. The city will come in with change.
Oh, Mr.
Well,
Eastman, let me, Mr.
I don't.
Simon, let me answer.
I'm
Go
just
ahead.
telling you, don't expect. Look, next year I'm bringing you one airplane for Christmas. You will believe it? So
Yes.
just remember that these promises are promises, but in reality, what we've seen, we should expect, and that's my point on it. Okay, it's not in extreme at this point, but we shouldn't expect anything different.
Wow.
Mr. Nambe, I am shocked. I am
Are the
shocked.
diplomat talking now?
Yeah, I am shocked
People might be telling you.
that Mr. Eastman, of all people, is saying one county got more educated people, so they should get all the positions. I'm shocked to hear this when even
That's what, is that what you said?
when
Is that what
Joseph
you said?
listen, when Joseph Boakai himself said one political party does not have enough people, so we will go across. One county doesn't have it, but it will be a combination of the entire country. And we've seen the opposite, Mr. Nambe, and this man saying because Lofa County have more people at the University of Liberia, so they should get all the jobs.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it is based on education. I mean, yes, I know my Lofa friends are very studious. I have a lot of them. We went to school together, But I am not sure if it's not on size one, and also on origins, if I should say. The president obviously is from Lofa. We want to ask ourselves, Lofa has several tribes in it. The Bandi are there, the Lofa, the Lomans, the Kisi. How many of those people are from the other tribes in Lofa? I think if you dig deeper, you will find that most of those who are being appointed from Lofa are predominantly from the president's Kisi tribe. There has been some.
I coach, you got last one, man. We're watching the game, but sorry to interrupt.
Yes,
We'll
there
do
has
for our
been
coach.
some grumbling within the UP rank and file about this president is is bent on satisfying, certain core followers, supporters. And so I'm not surprised that the majority of the appointees are from Lofa, but I'm not sure if it is based on just education as a dimension, as opposed to this president rewarding those people who I think he feels he needed to reward. What I think is bothering some of the people in the rank and file is this president may not be running for a second term, but some of those people are looking down the road to 2029 and they are trying to strive for a balance. And I think it is not happening. It's beginning to bother a number of them.
Mr. Padmore, when Doe was president, he surrounded himself with a lot of guys from Grand Jide.
Yeah.
And people say it was wrong.
Yeah.
It shouldn't happen. We have educated people in every county. Mr. Boakai himself said it. Every county have all 17 tribes. There is no county in Liberia that doesn't have Mandi, Bassa, Ribu in there. They all have it. So you cannot say one county has a concentration of 16 tribes. Those 16 tribes are in every county. Mr. Eastman, Mr. Padmore, I'm seeing something here that is a red flag.
Absolutely. It's an extreme red flag. Look, Mr. Boakai is trying to tell us that after 45 years of service, the only people he has come across in government that he know that can do work are the people from Lofa. I mean, come on. How crazy is that? How crazy? We are sitting here. Look at the mixture of us. Just look at our mixture in the smaller group. For you to be, I don't understand people. What is this innate nature that we have that Liberian president, let me put it that way, that as soon as you become president, don't our people around us. They're the only people you know. They're the only people that can do the work. I don't understand. There are so many other people. Why you feel that government job now should only be for Lofa people? And let me tell you something. Let's stop this craziness about, let's look at the person last name. Let's look at the person born in Magibi. Or let's look at the person born in Montreal. Look, I'm born in Montreal. I'm a Bassa man. Not because I'm born in Montreal, it changes anything. I'm a Bassa man. Okay? So there's no difference. Person, that person, even though they got Lofa name, but they were born in Magibi, they were born in Montreal. So they're not Lofa. No. They're still Lofans. Come on, we got 15 counties. You can't even just be cautious enough. With no shame. This is a man that said that my cabinet position will include people from all the counties. Look at the position right now. Lofa people. It's shameful. It's shameful. It points out what we said about Joseph Boakai from the beginning. He's not a man that you can trust. He's not a man that holds true to his promise. He's not a man that speaks truth and wisdom. He's not. He get old. That all he get old. That only not running for him right now.
Mr. Padmore, let me interject here. According to Front Page Africa, the appointments so far, okay, and here they are. These appointments are where Lofians have been appointed to include the mayor of Monrovia from Lofa, the chief of staff of the armed forces from Lofa, the minister of internal affairs designated from Lofa, minister of youth and sports from Lofa, Legis from Lofa, deputy minister of public works from Lofa, minister of commerce from Lofa, the head of Liberia Revenue Authority from Lofa, minister of education from Lofa, deputy minister of administration, GSA from Lofa, assistant minister for special services from Lofa, minister of state with all portfolio from Lofa, managing director Liberia Telecommunication and Corporation from Lofa, director general Corporation Development Agency from Lofa, deputy minister of state for presidential affairs, deputy for affairs, public affairs, Cassidy from Lofa. So, Mr. Padmore, before you close here, how can someone look at this and say that Costa wasn't real? That it meant it's an endowed tribalist?
That's exactly what it is. That's what you keep showing us. They may even hire what a lady named Tamba, Louis Tamba. I don't know if you guys remember. There was a time that Joseph Boakai left Liberia. He was coming to Minnesota, and people said, "Oh, you're coming for surgery." He said, "No, I'm going for my grand niece of wedding." That was Louis Tamba daughter.
Of course, we know this.
That who he identified as his grand niece. They tell a woman now who is his blood relative and pay her minister of state for budget, or I mean, just craziness.
3 blood relatives in his government so far.
It's sad. It's extremely sad. It just shows what we've been saying about Joseph Boakai from it's totally disgusting. I'm very, very disgusted with it.
Mr. Murray, before I come to you, let me be fair here. This man is
No, don't take my talking point, Mr. Gayman. Let me get my chance to talk.
Okay,
No, but I want to
No, he's really talking.
Kamara is getting ready to run, but go ahead.
No, Mr. Pablo, hold on. I don't want you to take my point.
You remember when Joe had 2 relatives was elected to MPA and had
when Joe Weah who?
Eh?
You said who?
When George Weah 2 relatives were appointed to the port and had a whole country in uproar.
That's
the
correct.
entire country. Just the men 2 relatives they appointed into the port. Now I say port director. Just gonna let loose job in the port. Oh, job we let a family put in the government. Yeah, the minister of state for family affairs. And it said now over there. So go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, let me say this. George, what George Weah did was wrong, right? What Joseph Boakai doing is also wrong. In reality, the people that should dominate our government are people from Montserrat County, where you have the largest concentration of all the ethnic groups of our country. Some of the most educated people are in Montserrat. Not even some of the most, but the most educated people reside in Montserrat County. Now, Lofa, being in all fairness, has maybe you can say 5, major tribe that is concentrated in Lofa County. Of course, you have Mandingos, you have Bandis, you have Loma, you have Kishi, you have Pele, who is concentrated in a sprinkle of Guillos, from Nimba County. So if you're looking at just the county and not the people, not the person's ethnic, group, then I think that's unfair to him. Most people say George Weah government was consistent, of people from the southeast. Most of those people are quote unquote Monrovia Southeasterners, people who grew up in the Claratown, the Nukutan, and places of that nature. They're not quote unquote, geographical Southeasterners. So the point here is Joseph Boakai said he wouldn't do this. So the fact that he's doing it, that's where the criticism comes from. For me personally, I have no problem with what he's doing. It's human nature. You saw Doe do it and people criticizing. You saw even Charles Taylor, to a certain degree, did the same thing. Ellen maybe less so because she's more of a globalist and an internationalist. But George Weah, a similar thing. You see Joseph Boakai is going to do a similar thing here. The reason is people want people who they trust. I know Mr. Kamara always say this, but people want people who they trust. And just like people who are in your vicinity, people who you normally interact with, you understand their educational level, you understand their competence. There may be other people who may be on that same level and be competent as well, but you're not friends with them, you're not so close with them. Those people who are from the other extreme of the country, let's say the southeast, you may not know them and their capabilities because they're not right there in your back, in your backyard. When you go to Lofa County, it's not the person name that's ringing in your ear. When you go to Bummy, it's not the person that the people are talking about. So people who are in your circle, people who are close to your proximity, those are the people you tend to, gravitate towards because you trust them, you're familiar with them. So what Joseph Boakai is doing is nothing strange. That's why when George Weah was doing it, people should have understood that any sensible person, is almost innate to want to go to where they feel comfortable. They feel some sense of familiarity with, with their surroundings and the people that they're going to surround themselves with. That's why it wasn't so illogical for George Weah to have a lot of Southeasterners, because those are the crowds that he hung around and those are the people that he knew. Those were the contacts and the people that supported him initially. And that's exactly what Joseph Boakai is doing. So when some of us were
Southeast is a region. Don't forget
No,
that.
I understand, but
You know, one country.
oh god, hold on now. Let me finish my points here.
Sorry, boss, man.
Mr. Morris,
Go ahead, Mr.
Mr. Morris,
Gayman.
you are so way off base that I'm shocked that the reason that these people, our learned people, are coming is to shy away from these evil deeds that have happened. We say we will not do this. If you say people trust people you are familiar with, then we shouldn't be here with affirmative action.
I'm only talking about
No, listen.
normal human
In the
instinct.
United States, we shouldn't be talking about affirmative action. We shouldn't be talking about human rights because white people will trust white people.
Bro, Mr. Gayman, 1 second, please. Let me finish my points. Even if you want to bring it to the quote unquote civilized United States, I mean, we're civilized, but the beacon of democracy, right? The United States. Joe Biden, his Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, is somebody that he worked with in the Obama administration. His UN ambassador, Greenfield, somebody that he worked. I mean, most of the people that Biden had nominated in his kitchen cabinet, people he worked with, he was familiar with. He wasn't going to go and bring new quote unquote Democrats who are just getting into politics, or people who he don't know their resume or their work experience. They don't have a close relationship with.
Are they from one section of the
Are
country?
they from Delaware?
Are they all from Delaware or
America is not separated into sections. You know, America, the divide is race, right? In America, the divide is race and not ethnic groups. So it's different. But the point here is, I don't have as much of a problem with it, and that's why I think that's my overarching point.
Okay.
I don't have as much of a problem with it. The only thing I have problems with is that don't say things. Hold on now, let me finish my point.
Yeah,
don't say things. Yeah, don't say things that you go against. That's why we're criticizing Joseph Weah. We know that some of these promises he was making was going to be almost impossible to fulfill. And now we've been proven right when it comes to his declaring of his asset and publishing it. That didn't happen the way it should have happened. When it comes to keeping the promises of having a balanced government, that's not happening. But overall, I don't have a problem with it because I think it's normal human nature to surround himself with people who they trust. I'll leave it there.
Good. Mr. Kamara.
Yes, sir.
Your Grand Bassa County has all the tribes. In fact, your grandfather or great-grandfather was made a chief in Bassa. So we have Mandingo, we got Vai, we got Mende, so if we just pick everybody from Bassa because we're saying, hey man, listen, they're from Bassa, but we got all the tribe in Bassa. I mean, it's a terrible analogy, Mr. Kamara.
Yeah, but it could also be that the people that were chosen were not chosen from Lofa, they were chosen from Bassa. Yes, I said they got Madingo, they got everybody in Bassa. So they could have been from Bassa as well. But let's track this point. There are 5 counties in the southeast. 5. Out of those 5 counties, 4 of those 5 counties, George Weah appointed almost 98% of his cabinet.
Name them.
That's not true.
Let's name them. Don't just throw number. Name them. Like we just name here today. Name those.
No, we're coming. Grand Crew.
Who from Grand Crew?
You do your thing.
No. When you talk facts.
Samuel Tua is not from Grand Crew. He's from Maryland. I know you're always trying to get it to be from Grand Crew.
Listen, name them from the fact. Name them.
So, you do your thing. You brought your thing. You want someone
to you brought it there. You want me to address it?
Yeah, well, excuse me. Grand Crew. Let me name the counties first.
Okay, Grand Crew.
All right.
Who came from Grand Crew?
Sino.
Okay, Sino.
Maryland.
Okay, Maryland.
And Grand Gide.
Grand Gide.
River G and River says also put in there.
You leave your
excuse me.
So you come with Riverside. Your Riverside name is the Bible.
Yeah, the man you left Riverside out because you left.
I left Riverside out purposefully.
I'm a Riverside man. Joe and Leo know. So y'all take that.
My man, Riverside. Now we talk about Lofa here. We're not talking about. Go ahead, Mr. Kamal. Hang yourself. We give you a long rope. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I left Riverside out purposefully because there were not a lot of Bassa appointment from that of George Weah, except for the National Port Authority, so on and so forth. But as far as his cabinet ministers were concerned, it was from those 4 counties, 98%.
So
Now
name the people.
If I
Let
start
name the
naming,
people
if I
who.
start
No,
naming
no,
Samuel
name,
Yeah, the
Tuer,
name. We want to
No,
example.
know.
you
Mr. Gayman, they had a long list of
wait
people. Name the people.
now. If I start naming Samuel Tuer, this is other person. Uru,
Where's Samuel Tuer from? Where you come from?
listen. You said 98%.
Hey,
98%. So name those people.
you wait for me now, my people.
He confused.
The minister
I want
of
you right away for because we can get hot out of this
I
show.
know he. Listen. Don't talk about Buffer Chimba because he's not part of the executive.
No,
No, no, we're
but
talking about ministers, not
That's
elected
what
officials.
but listen, when they're talking about the first thing they're talking about is a buffer chamber, a tour. People who are not even part of the executive. This is what he do here. 98% of 15 counties. Do you know what that is? That's like,
so am I gonna be allowed to speak, right?
no, go ahead because you are
you know,
vacillating.
let's 2 hour show. Now,
You
you
got
can get
2 hours,
it.
so you just go in circle, you're gonna get
Yeah,
drunk.
but
Go ahead.
because it seems like Aliyu versus the entire team. The only person here who is quiet is Mr. Ismail, but it seems like I'm under assault. But listen, the point I am trying to make is when we try to compare Joseph Boakai's situation with that of George Weah, this is a big apple and orange scenario. First of all, let us ask ourselves, how many people have Joseph Boakai appointed in the cabinet?
I
That
just
means,
named them here.
excuse me, you just named Lofa County people. How many people Joseph Boakai appointed in the cabinet? That is from assistant minister to minister proper. How many of them?
No. Listen, man. Don't come here with that kind of whitewash. We're not gonna.
But wait, now, I'm not going to, but
But
Mr. Gayman.
we talk about cabinet minister. Even Amara Kone said we got 18 cabinet ministry. We got 15 appointed
Okay,
already.
Amara Corner is your own educator. Let me tell you that assistant ministers are part of the cabinet.
Mr. Padmore.
All ministers are part of the cabinet.
Mr. Padmore. This man said.
Then I'm
No, you
But
got
let
to
me,
go to
but let me, but let
Mr.
me, but
Nambwe.
let me,
Mr. Nambwe John.
but again, let me finish.
Amara Kone Boxweo. Now Bogna Sweet. Kamara said
Again, let me finish talking today.
go ahead.
Anyway,
before you
go
finish
ahead
this
with the
prophecy,
language.
Yeah, but I was talking. Listen.
Listen,
over the man away.
I was gonna say,
Help the
I
man
mean,
out.
evidently, I think the president's appointments are predominantly from Lofa by percentage. But I think what I keep saying is what is becoming concerning is the absence of the rank and file in the government. I think this is what many people are complaining about. We all know that the chairman of the party led a team on the president's house because of his dissatisfaction with the appointments. We have heard lots of complaints from other
But I
quarters.
want a different argument. Let me finish my point.
Yeah,
Mr.
Two
Nambwe, we got a
honorables.
most different
I
topic.
wait a minute. I waited for you for like forever.
But
So
was I allowed to even
you're
talk?
not gonna cut me off yet. So
All right, go ahead.
what is concerning because this president he came to power on a coalition, a very thin margin, I must say. I mean, we all know the country evenly divided, but he came to power on a coalition, and a number of these people are complaining. Senator Johnson, for instance, continues to complain about the absence of his constituents from the government. We saw the chairman leading a team on his house because of, again, lack of representation from the rank and file. We've heard, other people complain. I think this is what is concerning because, as I said initially, yeah, he may not be concerned with 2029, but some of these people are looking down the road and they know that tomorrow they'll be called to account for their part in this government when they're ready to get on the road for 2029. So I think this is what's going to give him a very, very difficult time because his own coalition is beginning to come up and actually openly complain about the lack of balance in his appointment. Not only is he not predominantly appointing Lofa people, but he is predominantly appointing people who really most of the people consider outsiders. Now, are these people competent enough? I guess we will find out. Some of them we know have been in government before. Ambassador Grisby and other people we know, they've demonstrated their capacity to perform. But there is an entirely new level of people, some relatively unknown, who are coming into government into very prominent positions. Some of those people you've already named here. So I think those are the things that are becoming very concerning, and we're watching to see how this plays out.
Great.
Mr. Gilman, Mr. Gilman, I got to make this point.
Please land. Now they give you.
Yeah, I beg you. I will make it short. For me, I'm a common sense man. I don't have time for all this
Mr.
sophistication.
Kamara,
Let me make it simple for you.
Mr. Kamara, do the campaign. You were very short and to the point. But what's happening now? You can't get.
But I'm not getting any sense to listen. But listen to this. All of the other counties
saying a whole lot and saying nothing.
That's right.
All of the other counties, maybe with the exception of Nimba County, are known to have one tribe originally. Grand Bassa, Grand Crew. Maybe Sano can divide Sapo and Crew over there. But we know, okay. So most of these counties have one tribe. You have Lofa that has 6 tribes.
What county got one tribe? What county?
Predominantly humans. There's sprinkles of other tribes in every county.
You know what I mean now. Okay, my mother was born in Grand Bassa, but she's still Matino. So, but let me tell you this. I want you to understand.
So the Baza folk, they're known for being Madingo. I'm trying to understand where you're going with this. Go ahead. I'm completely lost.
Kamara, when you eat the whole, stop digging. You just keep digging.
But you're not allowing me. You're just throwing me off. Just keep me off the road. Allow me to learn this thing. Okay? Allow me to learn this thing. So you have a country that has 6 tribes. And 6 tribal persons are appointed from there in the cabinet. Automatically is tribalism. Is that what you guys are telling me?
No.
That's what you guys told us about George Weah's government.
No, that's not what we're telling you. George Weah was not accused of hiring true people. He was accused of hiring Southeasterners.
But I didn't say the man hired Kisi people. I said 6 tribes.
But where did tribe come from? I don't know. Somebody bring in
You have to hire tribes in every. You have to hire tribes in every county. How many tribes? How many tribes? How many people has he appointed from Nimba County? The justice minister.
Oh, okay. But Mr. Kamara, I see the parallel Mr. Kamara is running. George Weah was accused of having regional preference.
Right.
Okay, and likewise, Boakai, though there are several tribes in Lofa, we're talking about another regional preference. In fact, a county preference.
Nimba is right there. That northern alliance.
But the word preference is what we got to rule out, because that's not what I was saying. What I was saying is, if he's going to balance the employment, Lofa is always likely to have 6 at least in cabinet.
What?
There's 6 tribes there.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the
What about Monrovia? That's the point. There's all tribes there.
We are now we are not appointing people by competence, but now we are appointing people.
I'm just giving you
guys. You got 5 topics to talk about.
We're not even gonna, if we gave Mr. Kamara chance, he would never discuss anything else because he get way right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's move to the next one here. This one is an easy one. They say low-hanging fruit. Let's go to the confirmation. I have to start with Victor Nabi on this one. I wish I could play Mr. Eastman.
Yes, sir.
In our chat room and play something.
Well, okay, let me sign in. I was not in at my computer.
I got fired.
I got me signed in.
Somebody posted something from a Spoon Network, and what it says here is this young man called Mame. Mame is telling the folks that he said we should apologize to George Weah.
You got to mute Mr. Kamara. That's a background noise.
Yeah, he said we should apologize to President Weah, because we said to President Weah that you brought your asset declaration and you put in a lockbox. He said, for 6 years, we have been criticizing President Weah, and we said we will do it differently. And here is Joseph Boakai, all the promises he made. He said, we have to go back and apologize. Say sorry to George Weah for all we did to him. Only to find out that we're doing the same thing. This is man-made. So here we are. Mr. Padma, let me start with you. We are talking about the confirmation here. He said the confirmation has become you do my own, I do your own, and this is where they are going. Will these people ever have the courage to actually scrutinize and deny someone?
No, absolutely not. The people allow Sarah Desmond Yanti to go, all of a questionable credential. Who they weren't allowed to go? You know, who they weren't allowed to go? It's sad, you know, after hearing all the noise about how, you know, they were going to scrutinize. I remember when George Weah was appointing was sending forth his appointments or his nominations to the Senate. I remember people like Zoli Zoe, how Zoli Zoe was questioned. I remember so many other people. If you are going there, you ain't sure whether you're passing. So far, what did I call it? I call it the how you call it, the white ballot Senate. That became the white ballot Senate. If I'm not mistaken, the only person that did not pass with a unanimous vote was Amy Proma. When the Magidi senator, what his name? McGill did not vote for A.B. Kroma. Other than that, every single nominee is sent on a white ballot. White ballot. But they're the country we're in, and so you scratch my back, I scratch your back. So right now, they are doing the president's bidding. Now, do you really think that the president is going to impose on them to reduce their salaries, to reduce their benefits? No, they are doing the president's bidding so that when they're ready to put forth their own budget, the president will go ahead and sign it. This is what we are seeing here, you know, and it's sad. It's sad. Everything that you promised to the Liberian people, you are not holding true to it. It's indeed sad, very sad.
Mr. Eastman. Somebody got a background noise, guys. Let's mute while we are off. Mr. Eastman. Here we are. We're talking about a change, a new group of folks coming. We're going to scrutinize folks. These seditionists, they are uneducated, they are unexposed, they are unenlightened. We are bringing people with credentials. And Joseph Boakai said it. He says, I am bringing people around that got top-notch qualification and credit. What he said, credibility and integrity. And today we are finding people faking their degrees, people lying, and in fact, nominating a man who says, I have killed and I'm going to kill Falabu. I will buy 25 motorbike, 333, 75 men. Everywhere I see, I will kill him. I have done it. I'm a Mother F rebel, and I did it for Lofa. So, will these people ever have the courage to say, listen, Mr. President, this is what you said you were going to do. You're not leaving us, so we will help you along. We're not going to confront. Do you think they will ever come to that stage?
Well, the nominee has to be unjustifiably recommended. For instance, the only ones you saw turned down in the last administration was Namadiki. He was one of them because of his citizenship and the lies he told about his credentials. Zoli Zol because he was his statements and were not nationalistic, if I will put it that way. That what they felt.
What was his statement? What was his statement?
Well, one time he was on a show. I wouldn't call the platform name, but he was on the platform, and he said if anyone was to come to his house, you know, he defend himself. You know, and that it seemed like he was very prone to using an armed weapon. Okay, so that's what they flag. But what we want to see here, because the Internal Affairs nominee also made some very offensive statements about killing somebody. So if they want to be fair, if they could do that to Zuli Zo, then I would think the Internal Affairs Minister or nominee rather should also be declined. But that is what this will be is a reflection on the type of Senate we have, because a president can nominate anyone. It is with the scrutiny of the Senate that has to use their better judgment to determine who goes forward. So unless there's something very particular about a particular nominee, he usually will go, and we should get expect that he will go. Now, the other thing, what we would not be fooled about is one may have the requisite education. They may have a degree in something and in engineering but if they've never really tackled challenging real life problems in that area, they won't be able to perform as well. And what I do see, I may be wrong, but I see the Boakai will not repeat the same mistake that President Weah made, and that is he will change out personnel if they're not performing. And I expect him to do that because of the time he is from. If
What?
you aren't performing, you hit
What?
the door.
Wait, wait, Mr.
I
Eastman.
really
So,
have some serious
that the only
reservation
player he will
about that,
change?
Jimmy.
Mr. Padmore.
No,
Wait a minute.
let me
Am
talk.
I really
Let
just going to
me
be a
talk, please.
spectator here today, Jimmy?
Okay, Mr. Namwe,
I mean, seriously, even Mr.
Mr.
Padmore
Namwe,
himself
Mr.
had to
Namwe,
tell you to quit it.
Mr. Namwe, Kamara took your time. Kamara keep taking your time. Anyway, Mr. Namwe, let's go to this.
No, I was really saying.
Come on to your job.
Yeah, Mr. Namwe, I have always agreed with my brother, Mr. Eastman, but this one today he's having a bad day.
Yeah,
Oh,
you know,
God.
I'm shocked that my own UPB brother is going to
Yeah,
start
he's
laughing
having a
the
bad
way
day.
he
Go
is.
ahead.
I'm having a bad day already. But listen, I don't know what Jimmy's reliance is on what he's saying. I mean, this president has proven to be practically tone deaf. I mean, the amount of his nominees that are embroiled in all kinds of things, and yet, how many has he withdrawn? None. I mean, from the Internal Affairs Minister with that kind of verbiage expressed on tape, and yet this man has gone through, the justice minister is embroiled in all kinds of accusations. I don't know if he's really going to be concerned with the character or performance of these people that he's nominating. So but I have to say also the Senate, I was a little bit encouraged when the ruling party lost the speaker position purely from a position of a balance of power, checks and balance. So I was a little bit heartened by that at least the speaker will come from the opposition bloc. But what I'm seeing in the Senate is beyond embarrassing. I mean, unanimous confirmation. I mean, besides McGill is going to be the what? He did not even vote against Kurman. He abstained. So I honestly don't know what it is the Senate is playing out, but I mean, they are really embarrassing themselves. I mean, I don't understand. I'm very disappointed in the performance. I was hoping, even the questioning, you would think, I mean, yes, Senator Bani, I think, this questioning of the foreign minister designate was pretty incisive and, very, very deep. So was Senator Chia, former pro tem, but even the line of questioning, leaves you much to wonder how much research is put into these hearings by our senators. They are really, really doing a lousy job, and they need to really step up. We depend on them to checkmate the president's nominee. They have the right to reject
But
the
that's a
nominee.
reflection on the
Mr. Namwe,
Senate.
can I interject here, Mr. Namwe?
Yes.
First of all, the whole process was illegal when the executive appoints the Senate.
to serve
members of the
as the vetting
Senate.
committee on
Yes,
his
to vet
appointee.
and recommend.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
how do you expect? I recommend someone say, Mr. Namwe, I'm going to recommend Padmo. Then you say, okay, Mr. Gayman, I'm going to recommend Mr. Eastman. So
Right.
when they come before us, this was going to happen. So
Yeah.
do you expect anything better from this? I mean, this is a complete breakdown of rule of law.
I guess not, and this is where this whole, not business as usual becomes a cliche.
But
This is it.
also, it seems as if he shirked his responsibility
Yeah.
by not using his own intelligence research and team to nominate. Why would you pass that responsibility on to the Senate so that when they fail, you can say that they the one pick the person? I don't.
Yeah.
I don't really understand that. I don't
And then
understand that at all.
you couple that with just his refusal to defend some of his cabinet members. I mean, some members, very prominent members of his coalition, are coming out publicly, accusing the minister of state, for instance, of blocking their nominees, and we all know that's not true. But hey, what is the pushback against that? Nothing has been heard. Incidentally, the Ivory Coast has won the African Cup of Nations. Congratulations to them.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Allez, les éléphants.
Yeah, this is the fun. The Super Eagles are down.
Mr. Elvis, what is the score? What's the final score? Since you started
1-2, and Nigeria
2-1.
started scoring.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
2-1 for Ivory Coast.
Great.
The crew boys perform well, man.
Good.
Very
Okay.
good.
Mr. Morris.
The better boys on the Ivory Coast are part of
You
the crew
got
group.
on crew. What?
Mr.
Bete
Morris.
and Yakoba. You can
No.
have a
Bete
crew.
and Yakuba.
Mr. Morris.
No, better are crews.
Mr. Morris.
Frank Kessie, Max Cadell, yeah, they're crews. Didier Drogba, they're all part of the crew group.
Mr.
Bete
Morris.
that prom?
Mr. Morris.
No, better the crew, but also associated. I'm saying, like you'll see Gribble, bro. You see Gribble, Sapo, Crown. They're all part of that crew speaking group. So,
Oh, that's what you mean. Okay,
Mr.
okay.
Morris. Mr. Morris.
Mr. Murray, you've been summoned to the principal's office.
Yes, we'll
Please,
see you
come
to
back to bed.
ESPN later on, but for now.
no, I'm happy. I'm happy for the Ivory Coast.
Okay, but listen to this now. Why should Joseph Boakai even be concerned when he and these people met behind closed door and the people assure him that, listen, we're going to do this, we're going to do that? He had no incentive. When the people that were supposed to scrutinize the people are the same people doing the recommendation, there is no separation of power, Mr. Murray. He has no concern at all.
Mr. Gayman, look, I'm not even going to exacerbate myself with trying to criticize Joseph Boakai. It's a tireless job if we wanted to be, tireless, but I'm tired. So I'm just going to tell you this. I said it before. Joseph Boakai is only going to emulate Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, what she did. He's coming with no new ideas. All of the strategies that she employed, he's going to do the exact same things, and you're seeing these things happening in his government. Nepotism is going to be rife within Joseph Boakai's government. We're already seeing it. Sectionalism, favoritism, it's going to be rife within his government. And again, if he wouldn't have said he was going to be different in George Weah, criticized Southeasterners being dominating George Weah's government, nobody was going to be criticizing him to this magnitude. But the reality is, when you say one thing and you criticize one thing, and what is that word? It's the H word. Hypocrisy. You're being a hypocrite because the exact same things you talk against, you're doing it now. Once you're in that position of power to do differently, you're doing exactly the same thing. So when I said it on this platform many times, people say, "Oh, Elvis, you're being disrespectful. Oh, Elvis, you're being partisan." The reality is, Joseph Boakai is who we thought he was. He's the same person who sat there for 12 years, never spoke up against Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, never said anything contrary to all of the decisions that she made, all of the concessions, and now he's coming off to do exactly the same thing that Ellen did. Say, oh, George Weah is taking one of the funniest things. I don't even want to lose my train of thought, but one of the funniest things that Joseph Boakai said, and they had me scratching my head. He said, all the women in the country now for George Weah. Imagine that. An 80-year-old man worry about women, worry about all the women in the country. All the women in the country now for George Weah. What does that mean? Maybe Joseph Boakai come and collect almost all the women in the country. They had George Weah with all the women in the country. So for me, nothing is going to change. The reality is, Joseph Boakai is Ellen Johnson light. He's not going to be as successful internationally as Ellen was, but he's going to try to use her same tactics. And we know what happened after Ellen left. They lost almost to 64% to George Weah. So Cummings, be warming up on the sidelines. We're waiting for you to take over the CDC and defeat the United Party come 2029.
Are you
That's
leaving me
it.
out? You leaving
I don't
me
know
out?
whether you want
Okay.
me to say anything about that, but if you keep
No,
pulling my
no, no,
leg,
no,
I'm
no, no.
coming
We
there.
want you to sit down here, Mr.
Okay. Mr. Kamara.
Because the CPP is ready to rev it
Listen,
up. I'm telling you now.
Mr. Kamara, I'm not
There
going
will
to
be a
leave.
merger. I can guarantee you there will be a merger with the CDC.
Mr. Kamara, I'm not going to. I'm not going to give you a pad. You want me to go to Padmore and then go around and leave you out?
I know, right?
We're not going to
Already
allow you.
he's screaming, but you got to
Miss-
come and
Miss-
say something. Let's hear it, Mr. Kamara.
Mr. Kamara, you have always been a proponent of law and order, the separation of power, the executive and the legislative. But Joseph Boakai went and appointed all senators on the vetting committee, and you said nothing. Will we ever see the Senate speak out against anything that Joseph Boakai said in the
And we have reports Mr. Kamara was in the mansion when all the decisions were made. You know,
Oh,
he just
yeah.
came back on he just came back on the show. He
Yeah,
came
give him
back.
up a lot, bro. We know that one. I want you
We
went
know
to a
that.
little small
Mr.
vacation.
Kamara, don't tell me you're not hearing me. You hear me. Go ahead. And you muted. Take yourself on mute. We know
I'm
that
mute.
trick. We know the
So
trick.
you're good now.
I'm
You're
not
good.
on
You're good.
mute.
You're good. You're good
I'm
now.
good.
Okay,
Okay.
it's okay.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. So, listen, look, why I like that show is the entertainment that comes with it.
Mm.
People speak opinions as if they actually know it's a fact, The Joseph Boakai's source is functional to the Senate. What do you have anything to prove that, or you just
Yes.
hear it around?
Yes.
Front page Africa, our
No,
biggest
not something
newspaper
I
reported that.
know. The vetting committee, they named them.
Look, let me tell you something. I learned something back. When when a woman is in an abusive relationship and that's all she knows, whenever she meets a good guy, she treats him bad because that's not the kind of guy she's used to. This is the scenario. We talk about almighty presidency. You bring a president that wanted to share power with everybody in power. No, you bring in the constitution. He destroyed the rule of
Wow.
law. He
Okay, what is that power? Is it the bigger cabinet?
Yeah,
Wow.
let me talk about people.
Yeah, power. Yeah.
The senators already have the power to check and balance. What power you want to share with the executive or share with the legislature?
Mr. Padmore,
Come on,
Mr.
man.
Padmore.
No, let me finish.
Listen, Mr. Padmore, please come to your bathroom,
They
brother.
not even allow me to
Mr.
talk. Why
Padmore,
would
come
they
to your bathroom, brother. Aid over here. We are just sharing the power. We're sharing it. Ain't
If they
nothing
allow
wrong
me,
with
let
sharing.
me get my point.
Mr. Padmore, help your brother. He's sharing the
No, that
power.
ain't been lame, Mr. Gayman. That Mr. Kamara lame,
He will
please.
never
Go ahead,
land.
Mr.
They
Kamara,
never
land.
land. He will fly all over the place. Go ahead, Mr. Kamara.
I love the entertainment. It's so funny. The guy hosting the show has an agenda. And he's looking for every way to use this platform to push his individual agenda. And unfortunately, some people fall for it. But I understand, brother. I understand if you're giving us that. But here is the thing. All right. Now, if I decided I'm coming into a government, I tell you, but prior to my coming in government, that I will run government differently. I tell you that. You didn't pick up on that. All right? I will have a different form of leadership. I told you that, though. You didn't pick up on it. And then when you see me doing something different, then you start crying. I already told you from the get-go that I will be different. So what
But
Joseph Boakai?
it's illegal.
Okay, what you got to do for me is quote the part of the Constitution that makes
Separation of powers. Separation of powers.
Balance, check and balance.
My people. Joseph Boakai, after Joseph Boakai sent that committee, and somebody brought name, according to you, they sent names to Joe Boakai. Did Joe Boakai appoint those people directly to their posts?
What are you saying? That the position that they recommended for, he didn't put him in those positions. He put him in other positions.
Listen to this, folks. When the Constitution says, listen to me now, listen to me. The Constitution says the president shall nominate. and the Senate shall confirm, and then the president shall appoint. Has the president gone against that?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Go to the next person now.
It's
Yeah,
a
go to the
bad one. The Constitution is very clear. We have three branches of government. We have the legislative branch, we have the judicial branch, and the executive. The legislative branch makes the law. The executive branch enforces the law.
That's second grade. How about that one? We got time.
Let's see. So Joseph Boakai don't know second grade history here.
Like you.
Joseph Boakai doesn't know.
I don't know. You don't know civics. The separation of power.
Mr. Patmore, this man is saying Joseph Boakai told you from the beginning that he was going to break the law, and he's breaking it now. So you have no reason to argue, Mr. Patmore. Bring us home on this topic. So we go to number 3.
Yeah. So now we are interchanging law breaking with different.
Yeah.
Boakai told you you're going to do better. He said you're going to do different. He said you're going to do better. He pointed out the wrongs of the past government, and to come here and do similar wrongs or even more wrong is sad, you know. And the more we complain, they mean it's a deaf ear. Let me tell you something. You thought you used to complain about your Weah. Joseph Boakai is showing you get deaf ear. The first thing is as soon as you complain, right away they make him block you. You see the man block you.
I get on Facebook. I say you gotta tweet. You know you're gonna give us a black shit.
No, Mr. Patmore. There is one exception to that. I think he's being bullied by Spoon TV.
No.
I mean Spoon Network.
That man also blast. That man also.
That man going to jail April 14. So we'll see what happens after that time.
Come on, talk about Omar. Black. You remember when Costa was explaining his ordeal? He said the first thing Joseph Boakai did, he stopped answering my calls. When Martin calling King all the few days during the personal Sega, he said they are not answering my calls.
French man said bloqué. He blocked.
Bring Joseph come up and stay. I have been blocked. They're not block my number. This is what happened. Let's see.
I love the entertainment.
Nobody say anything. So you start, he block you. He finish. You know?
Yeah, but Mr. Patmore, before we move to the next day, Joseph Boakai said it. He says, I want to be president, whatever it takes. If it means I have to dance with the devil, I will do so. In so doing, he got rid of everybody else that he had no use for. The jurists of the world, the co-stars of the world. He didn't have any use for them. Now that he has reached the pinnacle of his career, which is I want to be president, nobody matters. There's nothing you can do to it. It's just
but didn't you guys tell me that Prince Johnson was a step away from the presidency?
Jeremiah Cool woman or Joseph Boakai step aside, Jeremiah Cool step in, then Prince Johnson would be there.
When Joseph Boakai fainted, who came to the podium?
Did I not tell you guys that nobody tells
Jeremiah Cool cutting in the side, waiting for Joseph Boakai.
That's right. When he fainted, who came to the podium? Now let's go to
no,
number 3.
I want to hear Mr. Eastman, man. Mr. Eastman is the only one trying to be balanced around here.
No, you want to hear from the Congo boy? How you hear from the Congo man?
Yeah. Everybody got an eater. I don't know what you're talking about.
Listen to this, guys. Sam Wallow is out here bugging me, bullying me. Sam Wallow saying Joseph Boakai has the HPS, and we're not going to talk about it, but we want to talk about why he did wrong.
Yeah, something better.
Can you imagine the man said we shouldn't talk about the illegality, but we should talk about
we'll talk about all the successes of Joseph Boakai.
Now, very familiar. Is that the people that Unity Party accused of bribing?
Yes.
Bribing, right.
So people they bribe to it.
Yes.
But then they went to Joseph Boakai often.
No, Joseph Boakai is immune from bribery. Joseph Boakai is immune from bribery. They were not bribing because he knew Joseph Boakai.
The problem was that they said to him, Tour
Oh man.
blocked them from getting what they wanted. And Tour went public and said, I met with the 2 billionaires. They wanted to force me to force
Look at
onto
it.
Metal Steel to share the railway. And the law that Joseph Boakai signed before I came in said the people had
Look
exclusive
at that.
right to the
Mr. Gayman, Mr. Gayman, let me say this. Let me say this. I think the money, the railroad should be. Hold on now. Hold on, my man. Hold on, please, Mr. Kamara. The railroad should be owned solely by Liberia. So that way, these companies don't have any say. So if another company comes and Liberia want to give that company that railroad to use, they should do that. If you're giving these guys share in that road, they have a say. So I don't think it's even a good idea to even share the cost between them.
But it
Use the concession money and build a railroad. Use the money that they give
belong to
you and build a
Liberia.
railroad.
What happened was they signed a deal with Middle
Yes.
that gave them exclusive rights.
Exclusive right.
Then they went. Then the other day, these are HPX come and give 19 million toward our budget that was used in our budget.
Yeah.
I'm sure I use that money and build it.
Thereby committing Liberia to some debt on them. Then when Twitter couldn't deliver, he got sanctions slapped on him. We just seen the beginning of this debacle because now they're going straight to Boakai. When I saw that the other day, I said these guys are going straight to Boakai to push their point. So we haven't seen the end of this yet. We got more to see. We're going to see it.
And like Jimmy is saying, we don't even know what it is that they talked about in the match. I don't know where Mr. Waller is getting his stuff from, but let him tell us. What is it that
they say the press conference is good, but couldn't tell us what they discussed.
Mr. Waller is a supporter of Joseph Boakai, and he thinks that we don't know it. We don't know it. Mr. Padmore, when we talk about the Metal Steel contract for which Tour was sanctioned, that contract, as badly written as it was presided over by Joseph Weah as president of the Senate. He passed that bad law. It was one of the 66 out of the 68 bad concession agreements. So here we are.
So now we're discussing Metal Steel now.
Oh, but of course we are discussing Metal Steel because this is what it is. So now, HPX have decided to finally agree with Tour. When Tour said you have to build a new system, they agree, according to them. They agreed that they would build a new system. They said it will help develop our economy, it will help develop agriculture, it will help develop electricity, but they didn't tell you how, when, and where it will happen. Mr. Padmore, they're talking to you, businessman, as though you know absolutely nothing.
Yeah, look, the thing here is...
You going back to farmer again?
Yeah, you got to me, Mr. Gayman. You're going by the farmer.
Go ahead, man.
Go ahead, Mr. Farmer.
Mr. Kramer, don't let you want to talk. You know you don't want to.
You know he won't talk.
You know he want to
talk. That analysis is just killing me. Yes, sir.
We continue to see the same thing over and over. You know, it's like you say, it's habitual. We're seeing a pattern here, and we'll continue to see the same pattern over and over. You know, there are people. I remember when Samuel Twain and Americone got into that national debate on Facebook. It was about HPX. And I mean, they made HPX the devil. Now HPX the darling ball because it's their government. We'll hear the amount of money that was exchanged. It will come. Nothing can hide Liberia. It will come out. They will find. They're finding right now. They're finding where to put it. So how to make it sound good. But, the thing here is, if they try to go against that accelerator agreement, accelerator might definitely take the government to court.
Of course.
Will definitely take the government to court. And that's what
that's exactly what it would do. They would take them to court.
Yeah. You know?
And we got
just be responsible. No, you don't want to pay the bill.
In what it is that they talked about, because we hope it's not the same gasoline reduction deal kind of thing they're talking about over there. you know, where you take 4 cents off the gallon and you make a big announcement about it.
But Mr. Mr. Namwe, please don't go there, because if you look at the math, he said they reduced it from 480 to 490.
Right.
that is a 10-cent
That
increase.
is a perfect. That's a perfect key kind of math right there.
Yeah, that's the voodoo economic job Bush used to talk about. Mr. Morris, you wanted to chime in on it real quick, and then we'll go to the next topic, which is we're going to Joseph Boakai asset declaration. Let's go. Go ahead.
So
No, let me just start with the Joseph Boakai asset declaration. Let me start with it because I think we all say everything we have to say on that topic.
Go ahead.
I would give Joseph Boakai a pass. You know, I'm the fairest man on this show. I'm very well balanced in my analysis. So I would give Joseph Boakai a pass for this, because the reality is that we're looking at President Weah's declaration, which happened, I think they said 7 months into his presidency.
Mr. Morris.
Hold on, Mr. Game. No. Don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me because I'm going to disagree.
We have turned the page. The reason that we criticize President Weah was he did it wrong. The new breed of people were coming to do it right according to the rule of law. Mr.
Gayman, I can. You know I support. No. You know I support can boil you and then blow you. I can blow you first before I boil you. So I blow you Joseph Boakai now before I boil you later. Let me give him the props before I criticize him.
Go ahead.
Joseph Boakai did the right thing by declaring his asset, although he didn't declare it before he took to the presidency. So that was wrong.
He said he was going to publish.
It's a game I know. So the publishing, as everybody has tried to explain to us, I think somebody said it eloquently, and I would take that route. Those assets has to be reviewed, investigated, and verified. And once they're verified, then they're eligible to be published. So perhaps it could take a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months, for that to happen. But the reality is, we'll wait. Mr. Gayman, please.
I'm not going to let you off the hook here.
You see, you don't like me to be balanced. I'm not I got to be balanced.
President Weah said, word for word, President Weah said it, and what the commissioner said, it is not our job, according to the law. Our job is to receive it.
That's all.
The man who made a pledge that said he was going to publish it, Dara Dillon didn't go through them.
Yes, but they have to verify the asset that he said.
There's no way the law that says that.
Hold on now. And then it will be up to Joseph Boakai and his team to publish it, because that's on them. That's on them, at their own volition. They can choose to publish it or not to publish it. That's what the law says. So if Joseph Boakai goes against the grain and actually publishes asset, unlike what President Weah did, and we don't have to go ask for information. What is the thing? The Information Act, where you have to ask for certain, go through certain loopholes to get the information. So Joseph Boakai willfully publish his assets, then we know that he's serious. But my question is, what took him so long? He's not some kind of sophisticated millionaire who have many accountants doing his taxes. As far as we know, he was living on loans. He had a few properties in Bomi and in Monserrato, and maybe in other places. It shouldn't have taken him this long to declare those assets. But again, for me, it's nothing new. We've been used to this from the previous administration, and it's going to be more of the same. We've seen it with Joseph Boakai. Everything that we had there, he's doing exactly the same, nothing different. The only thing I wait to see is if he's going to publish it willfully, and we don't have to go ask for Freedom of Information Act to get that information. If he does that, that will be a point in his column. But if he doesn't do it, then it's more of the same as we expected from him. I'll leave it there.
Mr. Kamara.
Yes, sir.
The code of conduct, the law says you.
Yeah, let's start with HPS first because you elaborate.
Listen.
Yeah. Okay.
The law says you have to publish your assets before you take office. Mr. Boakai went on VOA and said, I will lead by example. Everyone that I appoint will declare their assets before they begin work. He said it. And today, he is saying he gave them brown envelope. And he says, when they are ready, then we will publish it. Joe, we have
Okay. All right. I got
us
a
6
question.
years. We have not. We don't know. You cannot audit Joe Weah because you don't have a point of reference, Mr. Kamara. What's going on with your homeboy?
I got a question a long time ago, Mr. Gayman.
So answer it quick.
Yeah, I will not answer it quick. At the same time, giving everybody the thought, I'll have to be giving that kind of thing. Look, let's go back to HPS before we come to that thing.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Now, those people were maltreated by your administration. They took up to $30 million into it from that company.
You took it from them.
At first, they lied to them that they were going to use the railroad along with Metal Steel, forgetting to know that they again had gone into an agreement with Metal Steel, taking millions of dollars from Metal Steel so that Metal Steel could have monopoly over the same railroad. It was them. Metal Steel wanted that railroad. Ellen Johnson said was not possible. It was Liberia's own. George Weah came and gave it to Metal Steel. After they finished taking the money from these people,
Kamara.
But let me talk now. They took the money from these people without looking at the agreement that they have already made with Metal Steel, and then now they want to force the people on Metal Steel. Metal Steel said, hell no. At the end of the day, George Weah took sides. He took those guys' side. It still didn't work out because the laws were on the book. Now look at the deal that is about to be formulated between these two.
A deal about to be formulated. Okay.
Yeah. So how can I look at something
you can't just make a deal by handshake in the executive mansion.
But I can't look at it because it's not there.
Yeah, we have Mr. Kimmer with now. It has to go through the lawmakers at the end of the day.
So why you want to look at something that doesn't exist?
But whatever I get told, let me get told, Mr. Kimmer, what happened? So we're getting there. We know that there is an agreement on their part that they will build a railroad from Guinea all the way to Buchanan. And that railroad subsequently will be a commercial railroad as well. So this is a much better, much mature arrangement, okay? And there's already an arrangement in the pipeline that Metal Steel will have to agree because they're about to revisit the agreement. Metal Steel will have to leave a certain percentage of those iron ores right here in Liberia. Those arrangements are being made. So, but let me talk to you about the asset thing that you think that you can win something on. All right. Now, you talk about Darrell Dillon. I tried to help you the other day on Friday, but you still refused. You got an agenda. What Darrell Dillon does in the House of Legislature is the business of the House of the Legislature. You already said division of labor. They have divided function. As per the executive, when you declare your asset, it's received, they go through it, they review it, they have to approve it to say, yeah, the asset you provided makes sense, or they can reject it. Until you get that approval, Mr. Gayman, there's no conversation about put it outside because you don't have it. It's in their hand. They have to certify that yes, whatever you submitted makes sense. Then you can go and put. Wait a minute. I'm trying to help you. Wait a minute now. Wait a minute now.
You know you don't believe what you're saying there.
So but wait a minute. But wait for me now. Then you can go out now and put it in the newspaper and other places. But you don't go take something, give it to his secretary at the Senate and bring it outside. You cannot compare it. It's not the same situation.
Okay,
all right. Let us set.
Where do they file the asset declaration? Where?
Oh, they go to the LSCC.
Okay. Okay.
Not the law did not go there. The law went to the Capitol the Capitol building. That's where he declared. As you saw it on live TV. He didn't go to LSCC. It was right in there. So what I'm trying to tell you here is you cannot keep comparing apples and oranges. All right. Now, at least by the good, thank God I've been given a few minutes here to talk now. Everything that you're doing here, that you've been doing here with this whole Boakai thing is all politics. It is that Boakai has not done anything illegal since he assumed the leadership follow the law, not just your opinion.
What does the law say about asset declaration? When are you supposed to declare it?
The laws say prior and thereafter.
So what happens to the prior?
But prior and thereafter, you can't just choose prior.
No, it's not prior and all. It's prior and.
As a
Mr.
You
Nangwe,
can't just choose prior.
Mr.
You bring
Nangwe,
a lawyer on.
Well, let me ask you, Mr. Kamara. Let me ask you.
Mr. Nangwe, I think,
And thereafter.
Mr.
Now you just choose one word in the whole sentence.
They say in Grand Jire and Sando, they got a parable. They say when a hunter say, I'm a successful hunter, I can kill you.
You gotta look in the pot.
Said, I did a job and put you. If the hunter tell you say I kill
I don't see how that parable applies. Don't bring a white parable sometimes.
Listen, if the hunter tell you I kill deer, say don't say anything until you
don't argue with him. Hey, watch your wife fight in the afternoon when she's cooking.
If the wife cook and put the water in that pot.
That's why we're telling you need to wait until his wife cooks. His wife hasn't even cooked.
Don't mind Dennis with his questionable parable.
Joseph,
don't even add up.
I like with a job parable. Parable can read something.
Ladies and gentlemen, he said President Weah did not declare his asset. This is wrong. I will publish mine and do
we
this.
saw Joseph Boakai on TV declaring his. Where's the evidence that we are declaring his?
Listen, you see now. So now let's go to the next one because I can tell you it's going to be a long 6 years for my boy, my friend and colleague, Mr. Kamara, because he tie himself into knots. He can.
Okay. So you will not make it to 3 years, sir.
No, he won't make it. He won't make it. Let's go to the wives of the AFL, Mr. Nangwe. Let me begin with you. Of all the agencies, of all the entities in Liberia, for the AFL, we had issue before with Brendan Samokai stealing from the folks. He was from Lofa. And then we are hearing
I forgot to do anything.
Yeah, another Lofa man stealing from the people and the women.
Oh, come on.
Now you can tell this man intention.
The women. Listen, I'm not saying anything here on Front Page Africa. They listed a chief of staff. They from Lofa. All the go here we are. I'm talking fact, Mr. Nangwe. This is troubling for the women to protest. They are now blocking roads and putting roadblocks and saying these people did us wrong and we are not going to relent.
Well, thank you. For full disclosure, BJ is a friend, so I'm not sure if Lofa has anything to do with this. But I'll be honest with you. I understand the issues of the wives of the soldiers, and I empathize with them. But I would think that they need to give this incoming government a little bit of space and time. I don't know how much effort has been put in seeking redress to the point where they now want to go in the streets. So I can't speak to that. But I think for a government that's just coming in 3 weeks in or so, I mean, as much as I really believe this government is moving too slow. But notwithstanding, I think that they need to give them a little bit of time to plant their feet on the ground.
You're about to get a problem with Gayman.
Let me go because I have a hard shot. Thank you. You know, let me tell you, I'm going to.
Wait.
Let
me lay the premier. Table News says they asked him at the Capitol. Senator Table News, the entire Congress, their approval rating 8%, but your approval rating in Massachusetts 98%. He said everyone like their own crook. Nangwe says that my friend, you're giving them the main chance. But now I can't to his friend now. We should give him a little chance. Go ahead.
No, but
but wait. Let me come in.
It's not in what to be honest with you, I'm not up on the story very much, but what are they protesting for? Isn't that for their benefit?
Okay, that's
I
why I
have an
come in.
intimate knowledge. I have an intimate
That is
knowledge of
why
it.
I
When I
come
get a chance, I
in.
will tell
I
you.
come and give the background.
Okay.
Our host. He has a way of slanting things, but this thing, they are not very content with the Minister of Defense elect designate. They're
Okay.
not very content with him. They have a lot of contention with him
Okay. Okay.
because and that's the sticking issue. But what we need to observe here, we're not even 1 month into this administration, and
Correct.
we've seen major protests, one by his own party chairman, now by the women. He had a narrow margin when he won. And now it appears that this administration will have his hands full. Because once when you win with a narrow margin, you got a lot of opposition already from the jump. And now that you're going into your term, and you can't even get breathe. You talking about getting a man time to breathe. You can't even get breathing space. You can't even give him 90 days, and there are protests. What happens when you can't pay salaries? What's going to happen? I mean, I see this being a very troubled administration, and I believe I'm going to predict it again that President Kuhn will be soon have to take over pretty soon.
Now, man, cocking and waiting for Joseph Boakai. Least
No,
mistake. The book I said least mistake.
If that's not bold, I don't know why this
Let
President
me give
Coon
my
go ahead.
chance to this one, Mr. Gayman.
yeah,
Let me get a
go ahead,
backstory.
real quick.
Look, I know about this whole thing because I have extended family members who have been, advocating for this. The issue here is former AFL soldiers supposed to receive pension, especially those who
Why
retire
is it the
honorably.
Grand Gita people know so much about the AFL?
Don't worry.
Mr. I will not respond to your innuendos.
Because
Look,
me, because
look,
go
these
ahead.
women have been advocating, and actually, I'm going to put this on the Weah's administration. I'm not even going to put any of the burden on
Hey,
George.
you're looking for a problem. You're looking for a
The
problem.
thing, the thing that George Weah promised these people that they would pay them the money. So these women were so happy because I had a call and said, oh, they're going to pay them their back pay from the husbands, the deceased husbands, pensions. So these women were happy about this happening. There was promise made from both the government and the chief of staff, Mr. Prince C. Johnson. And they dragged this thing along and say after the election, because the election time was coming, they had to pay election fees. After the election, they were going to take care of them. And these women already thought the check was coming in the hand. And some of them even started making plans for that money that they're supposed to receive. And for some of them, it's a substantial amount of money in Liberia. Being in Liberia, thousands of US dollars. So when Boakai came, the people felt betrayed by the promise that the now Minister of Defense made to them, and now they're trying to get some explanation from him of to why it didn't happen and what they can expect from the Boakai administration if they're going to tackle it, and they want him to be a intermediary between the Boakai administration to kind of just move things along because he was very integral in the negotiation with the U.S. government, but he's not even responding to them. He has abandoned them 100%.
I want to make
So
it
they feel betrayed by him. That's why they say he shouldn't be confirmed. But we all know how Boakai works. It's going to be almost another unanimous confirmation for him. So that's the sticking point there. But like again, I don't blame Boakai's administration. I think we have made false promises to those people. He should have fulfilled it, but he didn't do it. And one of the things with the Liberian government, they never pay their debts. Look at Nancy Doe. Look at the former chief justice, Kabila Janet. These people are owed millions of dollars, and they're not going to see a penny of it.
Oh,
American
man,
government
forget
should not
about all
give you,
that.
should not give you judgment, whether that's state or federal. The government will pay that money. They're obligated to the debts and they pay their debts. But Liberia government don't do it. So this one, Mr. Gayman, I think we can spin it. I put it on the Weah's government here. They promised these people they went through the process. It was a painstaking process, and they didn't fulfill the promises that they made to the women of the former AFL soldiers that passed. I'll leave it there.
Mr. Kamara, before I go to Mr. Patmore here, you should hit the one out of the ballpark. From the time you and I've been arguing here, everything I hear from you is government is continuity. Government is continuity. Mr. Aliu Kamara, are you going to tell me that there was in the past, so you're not responsible for it, or how are you going to deal with this?
I can't wait for the answer.
You know, some questions it don't mean to be asked. You know, this thing about this debt thing is public information. Joseph Boakai being president 3 weeks. The issue of the AFL money has been going on since the inception of Josh Weah. So I don't know whether you just now hearing it, but I'm glad that you're
a point of correction. The stealing of the money by Boakai never worked for. He never worked for Josh Weah.
let me tell you something. Boakai stole no money, but let me just tell you something. Yeah, let me tell you something.
The court said he stole the money.
He made a proof
Let Mr. Kamara finish. Sorry.
Yeah, but I don't even know where to start. You said, but anyway, where was I? Let me tell you, I'm glad that your CDC man and the supporters have told you clearly that this has nothing to do with Lofa County or this and that. If you agree
what is CDC supporters? What is CDC supporters?
I don't even know who you're talking about.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Anybody that said against Joseph Boakai, so Palmer, we know he's not objective when it comes to Joe Boakai. We're not worried about him. We enjoy him, you know. So let me tell you this. Brandon Samukai situation, if we mustn't agree that government is continuity, then why are you bringing Brandon Samukai up? This arrangement between these people were done between they and the defense minister and the Liberian government, the chief of staff and the Liberian government under George Weah. That's what the arrangement was. And by the way, when they're talking about ex-AFL wives, which ones they're talking about? Because some of the women I saw they were young girls. Are they talking about the ones from nothing to nothing diet? Because some of the women
not just wife, but the beneficiaries. Yeah, it could be their daughters or their wives.
Yeah, I mean, how many times these wives can surface or resurface? You know.
Their daughters or their wives, people who are beneficiaries to their pension. Beneficiaries to the pension.
That's what I heard.
Mr. Kamara, when they say heir apparent, okay? Heir apparent means if I die, my wife.
Forget all that one. It said wives. That's what it said.
Well, it's just a misnomer. It's a misnomer, but the daughters is also there to claim their father's pension.
Well, let us say wives and daughters. If I say AFL wives.
So wives, yes, go ahead. So you said that you are dancing 1990?
Yeah,
I mean, so
it may not be coming for 45. Ain't that?
Here is one thing. Here is something you guys must understand. Like the government that we have now is the Liberian people government. That includes you, Mr. Government, and Mr. Pamo. That includes the both of you. This is your government. It's not something you can change just by your mindset or your imagination. It is real. 6 years. So whatever affect this government would affect you whether or not you accept that it's affecting you. For you, it's aggrandizing. You enjoy yourself. But the reality is you're not knowing how much consequences you will bear as a result of this government's failure. So I will admonish you, both of you guys.
Why you picking the 2 minutes today, man?
So this government is the government. CPP, man.
These guys are fundamentalists when it comes to what I'm saying. You know, they're extremists. So
give me announce the number. Let people call you.
These guys are unforgiving. Let me just tell you this. Let me tell you. So hope for Joe Boakai to be successful. I'm just urging you.
Hope is not a strategy.
But listen, these
you don't have to be a strategist because you're not.
People who were saying Joe Weah should not succeed, they would not do anything. In fact, they would do all they can to make sure that he collapsed, that the same people coming. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a few minutes. If you want to call, join the conversation here is 605-313-6004. The code is 791-403.
No dash, just 791-403 pound.
Yeah, 791-403 dash. I mean, not dash. Is
Mr.
that
hashtag? On the last show, our health resident here advised your friend Dennis
we got a stretch
to let us take a break. You know, certain of us of a certain age, we got to take a break. So don't forget that.
Okay.
Particularly Mr. Kamara.
The Joe Waka people, Joe Waka gotta get up and do that thing there. In fact, he gotta get up every minute. That man there.
Look,
See,
you're going down.
I
You're
guess
going
I
down.
got the
I'm
blood
getting up.
circulating to the legs.
Our
Are you ready?
And welcome back. Let me take a few minutes to recognize. Mr. Padmo, do you want to recognize our follower real quick?
Of course. I'm gonna say we'll stay around. The man from Lofa County.
Start from the top.
Oh, wow. Man, we got a lot of people. Okay, so we have Alison Howard. Thank you for joining us. Emmanuel Bro. Thank you, Ma Jenna. Ma Jenna is joining us. Thank you so much. We have Elston Legend. We said Legend. Wait, I seen Legend.
That means you want to come on the show today because you thought you have fun. You have Mr. Kamara. The time we should have come.
What kind of thing is this? We also have Ferguson Wonye. We have Maxwell Yimpa. We have Emmanuel Jackson. Thank you guys for joining us. We have Holder Sharif, Ibrahim Bengu. We have, of course, Face Electronics is here as usual. Soso Koyen. Who else do we have? We have Patrick Blair Jr. We have Lucid Ban. So thank you guys. We have Flomo Livingstone. Let me not forget my man Flomo Livingstone. Who said he's gonna call in?
Yeah, we got Holder Sharif. We got some new names here that I want to say welcome. This is your first time here. Please make it your duty to come on back and participate. Then there's somebody more.
All participants are muted, and they can unmute themselves.
You gotta lower the phone lines. Put him on mute.
Okay. We got more Jenna. We got a lot of other folk who are newcomers here to the show. Welcome. But if you want to get a call in, please call the telephone number 605-313-6004. The code is 791-403 #. To join the conversation. We got a few minutes today. It's Super Bowl, so we're not going to be here too long.
So we got call on the line, so you got to take the calls.
Mr. Jimmy Eastman. Where is he?
Who has control of the phone lines? They have to bring the callers in. We got callers in.
That's what I'm saying.
Mr. Eastman dropped off. I think maybe Mr. Josh in the back.
Mr. Josh.
But tell him to bring the callers in if he can.
Okay. So, guys, we got 12 minutes here. Let's go around and start our closing.
The callers on the line. Callers on the line.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. Your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Flomo Lewis. I'm calling from the state of Rhode Island.
Welcome back from Liberia.
Yo. I did not go that wrong,
I saw you, man.
So I'm not one of those who go there to get the job. I understand you guys are waiting for the job, but your face, John, we didn't win, so all the money y'all get, everything cost. I understand. No, when it comes to this administration, I have few things to say. One is the AFL whites are protesting because, according to them, they don't want General Prince Johnson to be the defense minister because he didn't represent their husband, according to them. So my question is they knew that all that time and you're the chief of staff, why did they not protest during that time? Until he became defense minister, now they want him to step down. Why did they protest when he stepped down as the chief of staff for them if they know he was not representing their husband according to them? The second thing I have is in 2 weeks' time, because after you said you didn't publish it. It's there. You can go to LAC and get information there. So, I mean, them government will succeed. We're trying to figure out the AFL why. Every year, everything that they get younger, that's good. Because it's aging backward. How can I believe? I don't know that the disease or the president AFL why they're talking about. We don't know. But the president, we try to sit with them and have a discussion. But they can't just come out and say, oh, we don't want a general committee. The president should remove General Prince Johnson as the defense minister. That's not how it works. They have to go sit and discuss on what
Let me go anyway. Let me
solve the problem. One thing, we get it. You want medical care for you and your family, we get it. But General Prince Johnson as the defense minister will not help. So let them find a leader and go sit with the president and discuss what they can do for that. That will be the best solution. But not protesting the street. And they bring a bunch of, energies and stuff. The lesbian would try to put that. They will not remove it. It will stay there and they can find someone to discuss. Thank you for the show.
Thank you very much. Now, protest is not allowed in Liberia. Next caller, please.
I think that's the only caller, maybe.
Okay, great. Mr. Kamara, 2 minutes closing, please. We got 9 minutes yet.
Yeah. So, Liberia is a land of laws and not men. I know over the years we've always seen men. You know who I am. So we're not used to seeing someone who is very liberal when it comes to leadership. So we expect all these attacks on JMB for opening leadership to the people, so that people can see how government functions, how a leader is supposed to function. Everything would be about insinuations and suspicion as far as the public is concerned. But the United Party will not run its government based on what commentators and pundits say on Facebook or any other social media outlet. The government came to being with an agenda, with a goal, and the president is going to focus on that goal. According to the Liberian Constitution, the president nominates and the Senate confirms. And that's what Honorable Joe Boakai is going to do. If you feel that he has nominated someone that you have an issue with, you have to go to your representative, your senators, and file your complaints with them. Joseph Boakai will follow the Constitution to the letter. Just because some guy sat someone in exile collecting food stamp and said that someone did not give X, Y, Z.
So who you accusing of collecting food stamp, Mr. Kamara?
I'm making my
Mami collecting food stamp?
You gotta be fair to the man. Let's go.
Yeah, let me learn. Okay. Wow. So just accuse other people. There are criteria set by which the Senate goes by. Doesn't go by what someone's opinion is. Just because I say don't confront that man, and therefore the entire Senate should not confront somebody because Aliyu says so. No, that's not how it works. But this has been a great show. Look, listen, man, you guys, I have laughed and took all my stress away. Let's do this again.
Thank you. Mr. Nambe.
Well, let me caution my brother here, who obviously represents the kitchen cabinet of this incoming government. We should be reminded of the hubris and the arrogance of the immediate past government. We remember when people were telling us, putting their fingers to their lips. They forgot that they were there for 6 years. And look where we are today. This government came into office with a very, very razor-thin margin. I think 20,000 votes or so. So, and I continue to call them out only because I'm showing them tough love. I want them to succeed, but I'm blown away by all of these unfolds, rookie errors that they continue to make. The president knowing full well of the separation of powers. He is empowering his Senate committee to get his appointees, and then he's going to send them to the, where is that ever done? Now, they came in. Charles Snyder was all over the place, playing press secretary. There was an outcry, and then Fofana came in. Even while she's there, we're hearing of their actions and policies through third party institutions, and not through the press secretary to the president. And they just seem to be all over the place, and I don't understand what is going on. They released a list of appointees, and then they will, some podcaster on Facebook will rail against the list, and then they will pull it and make adjustment. And of course, some of those names will still remain on that list, even though they will disown that list and all these little things. So now, even their own supporters are calling them out with the manner in which Lofa is dominating the appointments and all of that. So they have to really take this thing seriously. They're there for only 6 years. I mean, over 20 days of the first 100 days are out. At least I'm encouraged by the 90 days deliverables. I don't know to what extent they will be able to deliver on those. So hopefully we'll have time to talk about those. But they need to hurry up already. They're losing valuable time and dragging their feet. And I don't understand what is going on. I'm getting some calls about attempts to build consensus around the appointment and all of that. How long is that going to take? So, we wish them all the best, as we always say here. If they succeed, Liberia succeeds, we want them to do well, but they really need to take this thing seriously. How do you send a man to internal affairs who has come up to say he is a freaking rebel and he has killed so many people and he's ready to kill again, and you don't pull this man? Are you serious? I mean, it's like you're just handing the ammunition to the opposition. And I'll be honest, the CPP will seize on it, and we will do the best we can. They don't own this government. We're not ashamed to tell them we want to make them a one-term, president. If they continue to go the way they do, as much as we want them to succeed. But hey, we want a chance to also try our ideas. So thank you again. Great show. Thanks to the callers too. I don't know where Mr. Wallo getting his information from. So yeah. But thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Elvis Morris.
Thank you, Mr. Gayman. Look, this is an excellent show today. It was, a light show, and I enjoyed it. I will give Yeke Koluba a shout out. He gave a nickname to Joseph Boakai, the Chinese Japper. That interview was very, very hilarious, and I laughed my butt off watching it.
Well, they ain't black Yeke, yeah.
He was the first. He was the first.
They black the first day. Look,
They were the first minute, man.
He took a letter to the man how they took it.
They sent a letter. They gave out to Yeki to
he
say.
gave the Toria Vapla. She gave it to Joseph Boakai. You threw in the trash. But look, let me say this. One of the things I see, and I think it's a danger to our country that might happen. It's not guaranteed. But you see places like, not Zimbabwe, but Zambia, Kenya, DRC, Congo, where you see a lot of Chinese people building their country for them. And in turn, are controlling their economy. And we've seen the Chinese delegation that met with Boakai these few days, looking for investment opportunities. And we got to be careful on who invests into our country. Because China is taking over Africa by building railroads, building highways and things like that, and you become indebted to these countries, and you can never pay their debts, and now they control your concessions agreement, they control everything. And I think Joseph Boakai needs to investigate that Chinese guy who they call the quote-unquote real minister when it comes to the land, the lands and mines deal, because I think that guy has a monopoly over the mineral resources of our country.
Who's that guy?
Yeah, and they have to have a real investigation into him. Look, I see Joseph Boakai having some successes. I think he will certainly do some things right, but this whole situation with nepotism and favoritism amongst his people is definitely going to cause an uproar in the opposition. For me, I don't mind too much. I'm not going to give myself any high blood pressure over Joseph Boakai. If God bless him to live long enough for his 6 years, I think after that he will retire and enjoy the rest of his life. But for me, I'm not going to be too hot on him because I know what to expect, and maybe I will see a little pleasant surprise here and there where he will perform well in certain aspects. But for me, I'm not going to criticize this government and hope for their failures. I expect that they will fail in certain places and succeed in others. So, good show. I'm glad to be on the show, and congratulations to the Ivory Coast again. And let's go Chiefs. Super Bowl Sunday. Happy Super Bowl Sunday to everybody.
Great. Mr. Patmore.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. Before I get my closing, just a quick thing out to our viewers. Focus on Liberia. As you know, on Sundays we present a Hello Pastor. It starts at 7 p.m. Today's topic, of course, is concerning tithes and offerings. That's going to be an interesting topic. As you know, as Christians, that's always a topic for us concerning tithes and offerings. So it's focused on Liberia, presenting Hello Pastor with presenter Reverend Dr. Suku Archie, 7 p.m. Eastern.
It sounds like a Southeastern name too.
Yeah, the cheer, either Bassa or Gribble or something in that range.
And hosted by the Southeastern on the right Reverend Dennis.
Oh, yes. Yes.
But thank you so much. Look, it's always great.
I think God from the Southeast.
I know, right?
Hey man, close please. God, then God, he abandoned us. How you gonna make our region be looking at that and say from there?
So, but thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's always great. I'm sorry, I was a few minutes late. It was tough getting off a meeting. But I'm glad I made it. Look, when it comes to this government rode on the wave and the mantra of change. So that's what we expect to see. That's what we expect for them to lead by. You know, it's too early for them now to look like the past government and to be justifying it on that point. Oh, Weah did it. So, you know, it's sad. It's extremely sad. Whether it is the confirmations, whether it is, I remember how we were so angry with the legislature because everything Weah sent to the legislature, they approved it. And we were told that this was going to be a different government. My own senator and brother, Monserrato Senator Abraham Dillon, promised us and said to us, just because I help usher in this government doesn't mean that I will not be tough on this government. He said it, and we believed him. Now, we are watching, they sit down in that Senate thing, and they laugh and joke, and they play, and at the end of the day, they go ahead and approve these people. You know, for Senator Dillon to come so hard against Zolizo, which he rightfully did, I supported him 100%. For them to be quiet on Nimani, it's not okay. It's not okay at all.
You remember, Mr. Padmo, was it Hammer King or anyway, you remember our black is better than their black, the Republicans and
No, Herman King. Yeah, students say you like COVID king, you say you believe in COVID.
But you know, but it's the same thing. When I remember when George Weah came to power and they started to complete certain projects that were done, that were started on the Unity Party. And they started to clean those projects as government projects.
Yeah, our blueprint.
Yes. And people, when they said, look, governments continue to say, oh, Unity Party, Amoda. No, that our project. No, that our project. I listened to the president talk about how he is going to complete, he used the word complete, 25 schools under construction. When you came, before you come in complete 25, so now the Weah government is supposed to clean at their project because they started those constructions? No. You know, it's the same deal with the wives of the soldiers. Look, we have to understand something. There's a mixture of people here. It's not only the ex-soldiers. There are present soldier wives that are complaining about the living situation. The present day living situation that they're complaining about. And this government is doing a deaf ear. And I refuse to accept the excuse that, oh, well, you know, the jail coming, only been 3 weeks. I don't know if you guys remember, 5 days after George Weah took over, the LU students rioted. They rioted, they blocked the road going to foreign affairs. George Weah had to send Samuel Twain and what in Samara, what I call it there, to calm the students down. From the very day that George Weah took over, and I'm not a defender of George Weah, but from the very day that George Weah took over, he was hitting issues. He was hitting problems. And he never complained about, oh, I want to be here 3 days, I want to be here 5 days. No. He tried to solve the problem. That's what we expect from Boakai. Solve the problem. We want to know how long you've been here. Solve the. You already got plenty of time, Chief. Solve the problem.
Yeah, you don't already get plenty of time.
I'm talking.
Okay, all right.
Okay. How long? Yeah. That's what we are. You know. And look, we want, and I'll tell this to my brother Adi Kamara. When you see me get up and expend my time and my energy to speak about the government, it's not because I want the government to fail. It's because I want the government to succeed. I look forward to the day that I will come on, focus on Liberia, and I won't have anything to say because the government is doing right. That's the day I look forward to. And I hope that's the day that Ali said look forward to. But thank you so much, gentlemen. I appreciate the time. I will see you guys next Sunday.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our show. I'm going to close in short. In Ghana, they have a bird, they call it Sankofa bird. Sankofa fly with a hair looking behind. That's why it always run into trees. And that's why Joseph Boakai is flying, looking behind. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, see you next Sunday.
Bye-bye, Mr. Kerry. How you going to miss the
We are Liberian.